I still remember the exact moment everything started to unravel. The moment I first felt the quiet tremor beneath the surface of our marriage. She called me from the airport, her voice unusually bright, almost too light. "Hey, I just want to say, the girls' trip is amazing. I think I needed this," she said, laughter bubbling over the line. "Glad you're having fun," I said, forcing my tone casual, masking the pit forming in my stomach. "Don't forget your flight back tomorrow night." She sighed, the sound too soft to sound carefree. "Yeah, I guess. But honestly, maybe we should talk when I get back. I feel like maybe we're at different places right now." Her words didn't land the way she expected. I felt my chest tighten, a mix of confusion and creeping dread. "Different places?" I echoed, my voice steadier than I felt. She chuckled nervously. "Let's just be friends for now." The line went dead before I could respond. I stared at my phone, a strange numbness settling over me. Be friends. Not we need a break, not we need space, but friends. I sank into the couch, letting the words echo in the silence of our empty living room. When she returned, she was radiant, sun-kissed and smiling, carrying the same perfume she always wore. But there was something else, too, a guardedness in her eyes, a hesitation in her laugh. She kissed me lightly, and I could almost believe it was normal, almost forget the tension that had lodged itself between us. "Hey," I said, forcing a smile. "How was the trip?" "It was amazing, really freeing. We had so much fun." Her voice held an edge of something unspoken, a careful measure of distance. "Good," I said, but my stomach twisted. I wanted to ask everything, to confront, to pry, but I swallowed it, waiting. The next few days were a slow, cruel dance. I noticed the little things first. Her phone face down on the nightstand, a flinch whenever it buzzed. The way she stayed up late, whispering in corners, pretending I wasn't there. The quiet deletion of messages when I tried to peek. I tried to deny it. She's just tired, I told myself. Stress from work. The trip, nothing more. But denial is fragile. It shatters under repeated suspicion. And mine did, one evening. She was in the kitchen, humming a tune that felt foreign, and I noticed her smile lingered just a second too long at a text. The name flashed quickly before I could catch it. Something unfamiliar. My heart sank, a sharp pang that made me dizzy. "Who's that?" I asked, my voice steadier than my racing pulse. "What?" she said, quick to recover, but the flicker in her eyes betrayed her. "That text, the one you just read." "Oh, it's nothing. Just a friend from work," she said, dismissive, but the edge in her tone betrayed irritation. I nodded slowly, but something inside me snapped. The casual lie, the hidden glances, the distance she had so carefully constructed, all added up. My mind was a storm of images, memories, small clues I had ignored, brushing off unease as paranoia. Days later, I found myself sitting in our car outside a quiet cafe she had said she was meeting a friend at. I waited, hands gripping the wheel, stomach tight. Time slowed. Every passing second was a small death of hope. And then I saw her, laughing, leaning close to a man I didn't know. The familiarity in her touch, the ease of her smile. It wasn't to me she had smiled it for years. I watched until I felt sick. My hands trembled as she left the cafe, hand in his, moving with familiarity, reserved for the most intimate of connections. I couldn't breathe. The betrayal hit harder than any warning I had ignored. When I confronted her later that night, I didn't yell. I didn't accuse. I just showed up where I knew she would be, a silent shadow behind her back. "Hey," I said, my voice low and deliberate. She spun around, shock flickering across her face before it hardened. What are you doing here?" "Actually," I said, the words tasting bitter on my tongue, "I thought we should talk. In person." Her eyes narrowed. "We don't need to." I cut her off gently but firmly. "No, we do. I saw you today." "I know." A gasp escaped her lips, her composure faltering. The calm, confident woman I married, or thought I married, crumbled in the shadow of her own guilt. I can explain," she stammered. I shook my head slowly, fighting back the storm in my chest. "No, don't. I don't need explanations. I just needed to see it. Needed to confirm that the feeling I couldn't shake wasn't just my imagination. Tears welled in her eyes, but I felt none of the warmth I had once known. Betrayal had stripped the home we built bare, leaving only raw edges and a hollow ache that had taken root in my heart. Why? I whispered finally, a fragile tremor in my voice. Why everything? Were the years, the promises, the late nights, the dreams we shared nothing? She looked away, unable to meet my gaze. Silence fell between us, heavy and suffocating. I realized then that trust, once fractured, cannot be pieced together with words alone, not when the foundation itself has been shaken. I left her there, standing in the kitchen, trembling, unable to articulate what I would do next. The decision was mine, but clarity had come wrapped in heartbreak. Some things cannot be undone. I walked out into the night, feeling the cold air slice through the numbness, the streetlights casting long shadows over the path I now had to walk alone. Weeks later, the home was quieter. Too quiet. The laughter that once filled our evenings was gone, replaced by the echoes of betrayal. I learned to move through life with a hollow kind of strength, the kind forged from seeing the truth in someone you love and choosing to live despite it. I still carry the memory of her words, the casual dismissal, the laughter that wasn't mine. And sometimes when the night is quiet, I allow myself to feel the ache fully, to remember the betrayal and let it remind me of my own resilience. Some endings are not triumphant, not neat, but in the ruins of trust, I found something hard to break, the knowledge that I survived, that even in the face of heartbreak, even when love turns its back, the human heart can endure. And I endure, carrying the lesson, the scars and the quiet, unyielding strength of someone who saw betrayal up close and chose to keep living anyway.